Hello friends, नमस्कार. Welcome to Global Macro and Market Discussion with SD. मैं हूं SD शानंद दास, मल्टी एसेट ट्रेडिंग एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट स्पेशलिस्ट. इन दिस वीडियो बेसिकली हम लोग देखने वाले ये जो प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प तारीफ अटैक ऑन इंडिया, हर न्यूज़पेपर, बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड, बिजनेस लाइन, everywhere it is, US doubles Indians tariff to 50% over रशियन ऑयल. पहले उन्होंने प्रपोज किया था कि 25%. अब रशियन ऑयल अगर हम लोग नहीं खरीदना बंद किए, इफ वी डोंट स्टॉप इट, द तारीफ विल बी रेज टू 50% आफ्टर 27th अगस्त. दिस इज अ बहुत ही हार्ड स्टिक. इसके बारे में हम लोग थोड़ा डिटेल में चर्चा करेंगे एंड वील आल्सो लुक एट ओवरऑल द मार्केट कंडीशन. एंड ऑफ कोर्स हम लोग का कम्युनिकेशन विल बी अ मिक्स ऑफ हिंदी और इंग्लिश टू रीच greater audience, friends. So first I would like to start with where I generally prefer is data. So let's look at some of the key data I want to discuss with you. This Excel of data is directly from the US government website. So data को डाउट करने का एटलीस्ट कोई कंसर्न नहीं बनता. मींस इट्स अ गवर्नमेंट डेटा, दैट्स द बेस्ट वी कैन हैव. दैट मे बी रॉन्ग बट दैट्स द बेस्ट. सो वो बेस्ट डेटा को लेके हम लोग जब एनालाइज किया, और बहुत पहले जा सकते हैं एक इंपॉर्टेंट जगह पे, आज से ऑलमोस्ट 25 years बैक, when first time a global agreement चल रहा है, that is World Trade Organization. All the world, US का ही किया जा रहा है, all the world they got together in a cooperation to improve trade. It significantly enhanced global growth. It benefited almost everyone and definitely especially benefited the Asian or as well as the emerging market. US opened up more and everybody benefited. US benefited from lower cost of goods. But of course, there were problems. There were like disadvantage sometimes, which Trump says there were not rule following. But these are also part of global politics. But now, as a challenger has emerged for US, like China, for the first time an economic and able challenger, now these two are creating camps. US is showing off force and forcing countries to get into that camp. They don't want Russia to be our friend, strongly dictating towards our foreign policy. I'll support my country as a whole. We will. I think you all will. There is no doubt about this. इसमें कोई question ही नहीं बनता. But ये important है as a trader, before हम लोग ये judgment political discussion पे चले गए, we need to take everything as is. Means not have a bias because our feeling. Let's look at Swadeshi goods. If Swadeshi goods come, we are all for it. But trader, we have to have no biases for this. So ये bias हटाने में data is helpful. Very, very helpful to remove the bias. So let's look at some of the data back in 1999 when things are opening up, जिसको बोला गया globalization. ये काफी साल पहले ही मैंने हाईलाइट किया था कि पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ कंपार्टमेंटल ग्लोबलाइजेशन, दिस वर्ड आई हैव यूज्ड इन माय क्लास. एंड द अपकमिंग डेज दैट are coming up, they are going to be way more challenging for US as well, for us as well. But it depends, as we are into a different game. Some countries like US, it is also will get hard, ready to take the hard if China or the challengers get hard more. So this kind of attitude is covering the global geopolitics. And I don't think whether Trump goes, we should not count the 4 years. The policies can outlive presidents. So this is a significant shift and we should not think, okay, it will change very quickly. This was the situation in 1999. We ran 6 billion एक्सपोर्ट किया, we took $6 billion worth of goods from US. We take, this is US export, friends. ये रहा इंडिया, इंडिया के नीचे 6 billion, data is in million. I could have drawn a chart, but it's fine. इससे डेटा का कंपैरिजन हम लोग एक साल के साथ, हर साल नहीं, ग्रोथ रेट नहीं, मास फैक्चुअल डेटा को देख रहे हैं. So 19 billion is Brazil, China 17 billion imported, and India imported 6 billion from US. And in 2024, these are revised data, Brazil $78 billion of goods and services they imported. Canada imported huge, of course their neighbor. Main is China, imported about, I think, 2 trillion. No, sorry, 199. About 200 billion, sorry, 200 billion. India imported around $83 billion of worth of goods and services. Now this data shows the next table, US imported. US कितना import किया, मतलब हम लोग कितना export किया, how much we exported or China exported to US. Back in 19, India was exporting, हम लोग भेज रहे थे about 10 billion. In 1999, around the birth of World Trade Organization, and China was around 84. We were running surplus then as well. मतलब हम लोग ज्यादा वॉट भेज रहे. And now about 23 years later, this is where we are. China exporting 461 billion compared to 200 billion imported. So they are running deficit. That's why Trump can say we'll charge tariffs. And we are basically exporting 129. So we are running a little less. Kitna hai trade balance ka gap? This is India and China. Let's look at the data. US से आ रहा है ये data. So China का trade balance, this is negative, मतलब US के लिए negative. China trade balance is $262 billion per year. And our is $45 billion, which has not grown since 2021. It has not grown. We have not grown sending way too much to the US. Before COVID, we were sending. After COVID, there was big jump. But since no major change from 2021. So this is the basically what first round of tariff threat. Trump wants first round 25% over it. And 25% over another 25%, which is 50%. मतलब हर साल हम लोग को कॉस्ट लगेगा $22.5 billion. If you divide it by 12, it will come around 1.8. Yeah, $1.8 billion. Around. And $1.8 billion हम लोगों को देना पड़ेगा extra from our coffer per month. And naturally, let's now understand the global market. And then we'll take a look at overall Nifty. And it has been bearish for our currency because immediately cost pay karna padega. And that has to be in dollar because US will collect the tariff in dollar. So dollar ka demand immediately goes up because of the tariff. Companies ko pay karne padenge. This is going to hurt definitely the US in the bit of longer term later on, and that will also hurt us more back. We are heading towards a tough phase, and as it goes up, even if चलो ऐसा मान लेते हैं, if we take it कि all tariff threat gone, still Trump will put 10% tariff, at least I think so. He put on Singapore, which is a deficit country with the US. They don't run trade surplus. And that means someone will have to bear the cost. That creates immediate bullishness for the dollar. I think from the emerging market perspective, that is one problem. And it could be bullish for gold, as if INR is depreciating, gold may find some up value. So we may slightly start differing in gold price because of INR effect. INR, USD INR ऊपर जा रहा है, it's going up. Largely means Indian rupee is weakening. So Indian rupee weakening मतलब gold पे definitely impact आने वाला है. Gold is one instrument to seek some protection, but it is not in a bull phase fully international. So internationally bull phase में है नहीं, but I think ये जो India का rupee depreciation it will play out. So gold is still quite bullish overall. But as international gold का support नहीं है, I'll expect much grinder rise. So definitely gold will be one instrument to seek still. But थोड़ा international perspective पे ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि overall if it's gold is this is INR weakness rather काफी largely playing out will be in gold. But gold seems to be still good in terms of protection. So definitely that is relatively, or gold, there are a lot of risk associated with gold as well, even with the digital gold, but those are little long term play out could be. So overall rupee के ऊपर एक bearish माहौल दिख रहा है in the short term for this fundamental alone, and it could reach out. The RBI will try to intervene, but I don't think will work out in favor of RBI, and rupee I expect to depreciate further, and it could easily reach towards 90. I have said this is a fundamental of rupee. It will depreciate over time unless if fundamental change hota hai. So ये एक मौका भी है. So if US is becoming this harsh, we should even prepare for the worst. What if a war breaks out with the US? Then everything is. So we should prepare for the West. This can be a warning. Yes, we need to get our defense right. So even if rupee weakens in the short term, this can be an opportunity for in the long term. So if we play out well, focus on the fundamental like this trade balance, how we'll replace it, how we'll change it. So overall, US is going to suffer also, but via interest rate and more weakness in the US dollar in later parts. Via the bonds, they are going to suffer a lot. Bond market mismatch will be the main problem for US. So USD INR is bearish. That is one. Overall, our market पे एक माहौल bearish रहेगा. Indian market पे. So we'll now focus on the Indian market perspective. Overall, we have understood that this is not a situation every sector will suffer. And इसके अलावा pharma के लिए भी और suffering बाकी है, which is beyond this tariff. Later on, they will suffer as well. They will want the important pharma manufacturing over US. So overall, pharma sector be fundamentally not good. So let's look at the overall market through my timing tool more to understand the overall situation, what's going on, what to expect. ये ऐसा फेज देखिए आएगा ही मार्केट में दोस्तों. There is nothing to fear about that. मार्केट गोज अप, फर्दर डिक्लाइन भी हो सकता है, ये मैं बहुत बार बोल चुका हूं. Because we are in a recessionary cycle, so this is all part of it. If we play it well, then I'm very well prepared and I'm playing also well. So if you are well prepared, there is not much to fear. This could be a new level of opportunity. So currently market phase जानने के लिए what I will do is first look at the risk master. And risk master clearly telling us, friends, that it is not a great phase. It is not a great phase at all. Clearly. And let's look at the more, not as an asset class, मतलब opportunities है more in the international market. India is suffering more concentrated way. This ऊपर का मीटर ये बता रहा है. Let's look at the daily chart. Extremely bearish for India. Let's bring the line chart. You can see quite bearish. But हम लोग bearish market में भी पैसा कमा सकते हैं. Not significantly that impossible to do. Quite a handsome return कमाया जा सकता है. Those who have my option master set up, I hope it's working very well and you are should be in profit. So this is overall risk sentiment अच्छा नहीं है. So not a great time to remain invested. Let's look at the 125 minutes chart. It is more in the panic selling right now in the phase. Public is also panic selling. It is technically important selling. India was overvalued valuation wise. So overall, it's a sell off. And sell off happens. Those who have not squared off or right time, you are in trouble. Now, up trouble, you have to find, you cannot act in panic. You have to think well and come out, think how you will handle the situation psychologically. What if opportunity not doesn't come for the long time? How will you manage it? So you should not do anything in panic. But overall situation में बहुत times हम लोग देख रहे it's not good. So after the risk master, what I do, I take a look at through the asset master. And asset master, it is clear in the weekly chart that we are in the more range bound territory. And currently, Alex, I will not be surprised if market comes down towards 23,700 gradually. I'll not be at all significantly surprised. And this I have highlighted, and very likely this is now the likely outcome I'll expect actually. Now it is further bearish. And as though it has opened up the downside, I now expect gradually there will be stopover likely. But gradually now 23,500 area तक open हो चुका है. So overall bearish माहौल छाया हुआ है. Not a great super time to remain invested. Opportunities तो अभी भी है some stocks, but really friends not in a great phase. So you should expect further drawdown. Very, very mentally, and you should expect more range bound. So if you don't know in the money in the range bound, that you are in a tough spot. इसीलिए मैं बोलता हूँ मल्टी एसेट कैन हेल्प आउट. आप मेरे साथ फर्दर जुड़ सकते इन दिस जर्नी. Overall, it's going well, but it does not. We don't know how the future will come. So we'll enjoy it together. So far things are well. आप bearish strategy के साथ कमा सकते हैं. You can earn it. Now in the overall, we'll also like to look at what we'll like to look at the option master. Overall क्या है situation? With the option master, let's currently हम लोग का focus is in the bear call spread zone. यहीं पे हम लोग का clear focus रहा है. Bear call spread largely we are in down mode, and overall it's working beautifully. Things are playing out. Regularized income आ रहा है from more in the option selling, and buying state may be bear put spread. These are the current signal playing out. So that's all, friends. Overall, that's it from my side. Thank you for joining my channel and listening to this video. All the best from my side towards your trading and investing. And friends, as always, happy trading.